everybody? Joe Nohana, Anthony Caruso.
Nope.
We're here to talk New Japan Pro Wrestling, and it's the finals, everybody. So we got May 31st, we got June 1st, we got June 3rd. So the big match between Willard, Ospreay, and Kushida just occurred. We just watched it, and if you watched it this morning,
Spoilers, dude. Maybe they didn't want to know until they got to the end of the show.
Oh, for the love of God! If you don't keep up with this, then what are you doing? If you don't follow the New Japan Instagram account,
man, maybe
like
they don't
I
have
do.
the time, and they're looking for us to bring it to them and surprise them with who wins this.
Surprise! Well, I do remember that Mr. Crusoe across from me predicted that Kushida was going to be in the finals, or at least get to the finals. And he was not wrong. This whole story between this saga from losing at Sakura Genesis in about 2 minutes to being in the finals of the battle, the best of the Super Juniors, is quite an amazing story. That was very well thought out, very well planned. And I didn't know what it was. Like, I didn't know why it happened at the time. I was like, well, that's a little strange that Kushida went down so quickly.
I knew exactly why it happened. I knew it was going to be the story for G1 for the best of the Super Juniors.
Well, you heard it here, folks. Anthony Crusoe's in the booking room with the New Japan guys, with Jado.
I have Jado and Gato on speed dial.
On speed dial. Okay, cool. That's great. He's got some connects.
They're number 7 and 8 on my speed dial. You didn't.
So
if you want to know who 1 through 6 are, stay tuned.
Well, if you'd like to call into the station, call us here at 555 Suck My Ass.
Hello, guys. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Why? This is the best thing I've ever heard in my life. Oh, God. And this episode sponsored by Cars for Kids. If you want a car for your kid, sign up now. I don't know how that works.
Oh, you should have had the jingle queued up.
Oh, God, I should have. We need more sponsors. Some more shitty...
We need
fake
a
sponsors.
sponsor.
We need fake sponsors. Something that doesn't exist. Well, so we got all caught up. We just finished watching the final match. We didn't lag behind. The other day, we caught up. We did the final, the B Block final, and the A Block final. And just watched the final match in on June 3rd, wherever it was.
Today, earlier this morning.
Earlier this morning
for us.
Early this morning. And if you were like the Yoyogi second gymnasium, second gymnasium, not the first in Tokyo.
Oh, it wasn't good enough to book the first gymnasium.
Good enough for the first one. If you're like us, you have a bunch of wrestling stuff on your Instagram, Facebook, Amiibo.jp, MySpace, Zanga, whatever the hell you use. Pornhub.net. You follow a bunch of wrestling related people, companies, Tokyo Latina, Miho Abe.
Mine's pretty much just wrestling and fitness models.
Wrestling and fitness models. There you go. But New Japan, here's just a recommendation to new NJPW 1972 at Instagram.yahoo.net. Do not post the fucking spoilers for your main event for us over here on the west side, okay? Because we don't watch this shit until like
some people do,
8
man.
o'clock.
Maybe people work at night, and
that's okay for the fucking vampires out there that are.
Hey, man, don't follow the page if you don't want to get spoiled.
Oh, that's the story of the year.
That's like getting out of work at 10 o'clock and asking the Yankees Facebook page to not post the final score.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. So don't follow sports if you don't have shit ruined for you. But anyways, we got May 31st, so the final day for the
A block.
A block. Okay. The A block was not as hectic as the B block was, so the B block all came down to tiebreakers.
Yeah.
So if one person had defeated another person that won their match, then that person automatically goes over, I suppose, or is higher ranks, whatever you want to call it. So basically,
there was a lot of people waiting around for other people to win or lose.
Yes, the B block was all dependent on other people's victories and people sitting on with a thumb up their ass the whole time, scared as hell and nervous as hell as to what the outcomes were going to be. But A Block, not so much. We had 4 guys, right, in the top 4.
Going into the A Block, there was 5 guys.
5 guys in the top 4, tied at 8 points, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and Liger obviously all the way at the bottom. But I guess speaking of Jushin Thunder Liger, let's get right into May 31st in the Osaka Prefectural Gymnasium. We got Jushin Thunder Liger versus Taichi. And as you would expect with this being Liger's last Battle of the Super Juniors, battle of the fucking battle. Best of the fucking Super Juniors, not Battle of the
When
Super
we watch
Juniors.
Bowl of this year, we'll keep calling it Best of Los Angeles.
Best of Los Angeles. I don't know, man. Battle of the Super Juniors feels so much better. But whatever. So this is his last BOSJ match ever. There was a lot of emotion here between the constant Suzuki-gun interference, Taichi being an absolute animal, ripping Liger's gear, and then Kushida and Taguchi saving Liger at the end. Taichi was genuinely good in this match, and for once, his bullshit actually meant something. So all of these shenanigans with Suzuki-gun finally came to a head here, as their anger and patheticness, that is not a word, I just created it. Their antics, all of it meant something in Jushin Thunder Liger's final match here in the Best of a Super Juniors tournament. So he was due... Taichi was due for 1 or 2 good matches, and this was one of them. And you could question, okay, from 2 guys who actually like Taichi. I mean, this tournament has skewed my opinion of Suzuki-gun as a whole, but Taichi, aside from tournaments, Suzuki-gun is fine. I don't hate them. Yeah. It's just
when we're not inundated with like Suzuki-gun shenanigans every 10 minutes. They'll be much more enjoyable.
Yeah. In bits and pieces, they're fine. Yeah. Okay, but in this one, this was fun. Everything that they did meant something. It's the final match for Liger. He's going away. This is his last ditch effort to at least not go home with a fucking donut in the win column. So all this was due. So Taichi's storyline came to a head here after all of the pickings-ons and all the bullshit during the other shows. So he ripped his mask, he ripped his gear, all of it, and Liger defeated Taichi, said his goodbyes to the crowd, ending his run in the tournament on somewhat of a high note. So basically, long story short, they fucked with Liger. Liger fucked with them back. Yeah. He got some backup. He won the match. Yeah. Taichi's shenanigans finally didn't get him anywhere, and he puts up the first loss takes the first L for Liger. Whatever you want to, however you want to.
He's the first person to lose to Liger.
Yes, I suppose.
You're trying to overcomplicate how you say things. But yeah, the babyface run-in came a little later than I thought. They was getting
They were assaulting this man for quite some time.
Yes. And we're about to snip at the hair.
They were going to a little bit. And I said, I'm sitting in this chair, right, in Anthony's room, and I go, well, God, not the hair, please. It would be a shame if Jushin Thunder Liger lost his hair.
Lost all that fake hair.
What a shame. He can't just grow it back the next day. I did find that funny. I did find that extremely hilarious how they were threatening to cut the hair off of the mask of Liger, which isn't real, by the way, but if you didn't know that, I'm sorry. Nah. I didn't mean to ruin it for you.
But it was nice that Taguchi and Kushida finally
came 30 minutes late. Yeah. And another question. This entire tournament, guys have been getting jumped and abused and fucked with and beat up and all these terrible things. The cane, the whiskey, the more whiskey, the more cane.
The bell hammer.
The bell hammer. Nobody helped anybody. Nobody bothered to help anybody else.
You know, at some point, it just reached a boiling point where enough is enough. And Liger's their boy. Like, they don't want to see him go out like that. This is his last match. If there ever was a time for a run, and it was then.
This continuity is off here in New Japan Pro Wrestling. You better get this right. If someone gets assaulted, they must be helped as well. There must be good guys to fight the good fight backstage.
You can't do the babyface run-in every time. Though. This made the most sense.
I guess I'll give them credit. This kind of meant something at this point. It was a big show. It was the finals of the A Block. You had to do something for all of this bullshit Suzuki-gun's been doing the whole time. So Dragon Lee versus Taka Michinoku. Oh, so we moved from one Suzuki-gun to the next. Actually, though, strangely enough, Taka was not involved in the beatdown of Liger. I don't think so. It was just the 4 guys with the black pants and So Desperado, Taichi, Yoshinobu.
Taka was out there too.
Taka was out
Yeah.
there? Okay, maybe I could have swore Taka was not out there because obviously he had a match right afterwards, but
Maybe he wasn't.
I don't think he was out there.
Maybe I'm thinking of the.
I think it was just Yoshinobu and
thinking of the-
fucking Desperado that
Yeah.
were out there assaulting Liger because Taka had a fucking match right afterwards. So Taka starts by wanting a handshake, but Lee is reluctant because, he's a bad guy. Taka handshakes Red Shoes instead, and Red Shoes goes, "You see, there's some good people in the world." But when Lee finally gives in to shake the hand of Taka Michinoku, he gets kicked right in the face, or gets cheap shotted in the face. So it takes him all the way to the entrance, gives him a bully choke all the way up there. And you might ask yourself, now why in the fucking world would you give a guy a bully choke way out in the entrance way? Well, there was some logic to this. So he gives him a bully choke, and when the count reaches 15, Taka sprints to the ring in an attempt to get a very cheap victory.
Pretty much the same shit he was doing earlier in the tournament too.
All the time. He runs into the ring in an attempt to leave Lee on the outside. Dragon Lee makes it back in just barely at the 19 count. And I think this 19 count's gotta go at some point. I get it from a wrestler's perspective. It's a good time to catch a breath. It's a good time to sort of ease up and go out there and just lay the fuck down on the floor for 18 seconds. But they abused this 19 count so much. But I guess it meant something here.
Yeah.
After being beat on and bullied for a bit, Lee tries to come back with a head scissors, but Taka cuts him off, starts working the left leg of Lee, and then he hits a suicide dive and beats on Taka in the corner, does a hesitation kick. Looks like Lee might get something going. Puts him in a crossface, but Taka gets to the ropes. So at this point, Taka's starting to realize that all this shenanigans better fucking stop, because Dragon Lee's here to kill somebody. Lee takes over, tries to hit a double stomp, but misses on the top pad. Taka hits his 3-hit combo, so the whatchamacallit, the thing what he does with the super kick, the eye poke, the kick to the shin, and then the super kick. I don't know what that's called, but
I have no idea.
His 3-hit combo that you've seen him do plenty of times. But he can't get a 3 count out of this. So Taka gets visibly mad at this point. So he's pissed off, can't put Dragon away. Lee starts getting too cocky, starts taunting and tries to get fired up to take out Taka. But he takes advantage of this and wins with a jumping kick to the face and a Michinoku driver. So Dragon Lee got a little too carried away, and the old veteran put his ass to the ground.
That's what cost him the tournament, because at this point, everybody's eliminated.
There you go.
Nobody can win.
You see that, everybody? Don't taunt in front of Taka Michinoku. Don't try to get the crowd all riled up. Ricochet versus Marty Scurll. So the Battle of Los Angeles previous 2 years winners? No. 2014 was when Ricochet won it. I'm sorry. Well,
Yeah.
a battle of previous
Scurll
Battle of
didn't
Los
win.
Angeles winners.
I was thinking of Super Juniors, yeah.
Yeah. Before Ricochet finishes his entrance, Marty gets the jump on him and gets an early advantage. Knocks him off. Ricochet does a suicide dive followed by a tope. Tries to do a springboard elbow, but gets locked into a chicken wing for his troubles. Marty does the apron super kick. Then he locks in a surfboard. Takes over, but Ricochet fires back with a springboard elbow. Marty hits the over-the-knee neck breaker, but can only get a 2 count. Then he tries for a chicken wing. Ricochet counters and attempts the Benadryller, but gets punched right in the face. An awesome sequence occurs. Marty grabs the finger. Ricochet gets out of it. I can't believe I just said that. Yes. He grabbed the finger and got out of it.
Yeah.
What do you know? Marty locks him in a cross-face chicken wing, but he gets reversed into the Northern Lights Brainbuster combo. Goes for a shooting star, but Marty gets the knees up. Hits him with 2 snap pile drivers. Can't get the win. Ricochet does a bridge pin, but it's an awful idea to do a bridge pin against Marty Scurll because he locked him in the chicken wing and he tapped him out. This was a fun match. This was actually not a terrible match.
This might have been my favorite of the Marty Scurll matches. When he's not doing the finger breaking spot, he's actually all right.
I will give him this. He did the finger break in this thing, but here's the thing: when Marty and if anyone listening to me knows that I do not like Marty Scurll at all, but when he's on fire, when he's out there doing his thing, and he's up against guys like Ricochet, he's an awesome worker.
Yeah, and hey, man.
Hate the gimmick, hate the fucking finger spot, but can't take away.
He gets the crowd. I just hate him because of the finger spot, and I've seen some of his promos that left a lot to be desired. But the crowd was into it. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Still a good worker. Yeah. Not taking anything away from him. We will shit on him for the next couple of years because of that dumb spot, but can't take anything away from him as being a performer. He's an awesome performer, and he did really good against Ricochet here. Will Ospreay versus Hiromu Takahashi.
So for all the marbles.
This is it right here for the A block. Match starts out right out of the gate, as you would expect. These guys are both going out there trying to get fucking big win. They need to kick each other's ass. Will ends up suicide diving to the outside. Takahashi ends up in the crowd, laid out on some chairs, while Ospreay takes a seat and just watches him die on the floor. Hiromu got some momentum back with his apron sunset flip, the one that hurts a whole hell of a lot to watch and probably to take. Hiromu starts working over Will with a backdrop and a sit-out kick. He then turns his focus towards the right leg of Ospreay to hinder his ability to do flippy shit. Will takes back control with a springboard flipping shin kick. I don't know what that move is called, but that's what I call it. Ospreay does some stick kicks. Stick. I wrote stick, everybody. Stiff fucking kicks to the chest. No one hits a stick kick to anybody. Stiff kicks to the chest, but hurts himself doing it because his knee got worked over previously. So he's selling the knee. So listen to this. Will Ospreay gets his knee fucked up. Still does stiff-ass kicks. Yeah. And hurts himself even more. Hiromu hits a big sit-out powerbomb and a Falcon arrow. He did the deal, but he can only get a 2 count. Then connects with a top rope Casadora, but still can't put Ospreay away. So at this point, Will's looking pretty fucking strong because Hiromu's giving him everything he's got. Will attempts the ass cutter, but gets cut off and takes a double German that Hiromu almost screwed up. The second German. Yeah. Kind of almost. I tried to assist him with a little, and he did it. Ospreay escapes an apron sunset flip, so he's going for another one. Can't connect. Does a shooting star to the outside. Ospreay hits a flipping DDT, then an inverted 450 splash, but only for a 2. Then finally hits the ass cutter for the big win over Hiromu Takahashi. Well, Ospreay, you're A block champion. Yep. So he cut a promo afterwards, saying he will go back to back and a belly to belly here for another Best of the Super Juniors trophy.
This made sense here. I thought that Ospreay was going to win this block. I mean, you saw from the promos leading up to it and the
crowd loves him.
Yeah, the crowd loves him.
This company loves him.
Takahashi doesn't need to win this tournament.
No,
because he's already in the Junior Heavyweight Championship match at Dominion. So.
But
or whatever they pay off the winner versus him. So,
but Ospreay's very, very much beloved by this New Japan crowd. He does flippy stuff. He's a cool guy. He's got pale skin. They're into it. They love it. So we got June 1st.
Well, here, let me run down the.
Go ahead.
Run down the final standings for the A block. So the final standings are as follows for the A block. The winner with 10 points, Will Ospreay. A 5-way tie for second. I was too lazy to figure out the tiebreakers, and it doesn't fucking matter. All at 4
really
and 3
doesn't.
with 8 points. Ricochet, Hiromu Takahashi, Dragon Lee, Taichi, and Marty Scurll. And then 7th place with 4 points. The 2 and 5 record is Taka Michinoku. And then Jushin Thunder Liger with 2 points. Went 1 and 6. Finished last.
My prediction of Liger taking a big old fat donut back home was not gonna.
There was no way he was going over.
I don't know, man. I would have taken the over. I mean, it was nice. Here's the thing, from a booking perspective, it was fine. Like I said, with the whole Taichi and Suzuki-gun shit, it made sense. It made perfect sense that you would save it for this moment to really get him that big victory over the big bad guys. The tournament didn't mean shit at this point to him, but beating these fuckers up sure meant a lot to him, and it needed to be done. So we got June 1st in the Nagoya International Conference Center, the event hall. It's got to be the event hall. Yoshinobu Kanemoto versus El Desperado, 2 Suzuki-gun members. Fun fact, I did not write a goddamn thing down for this match, because what the fuck could I say about this match?
There was a lot of shenanigans and buffoonery and skullduggery.
And the reason why I didn't write anything down is because I figured I'd just go off the top of my head from what happened, because I could pretty much just recall. I thought in the beginning of this matchup that they were going to pull a Taka and Taichi, not touch each other.
This was the opposite of that.
Or kind of bullshit their way through the match, not really do too much, but they locked up.
Yeah.
They locked up. And in the beginning of the match, you could see all 4 of the Suzuki-gun members. We had Taichi in Kanemoto's corner. We had Taka in Desperado's corner. And they're all in the ring, kind of. and Taichi or Taka are sort of exchanging some words over who's the dickhead on the outside and who could be more of a cocksucker on the outside than the other. And, this guy can't be in the ring, that guy can't be in the ring. Long story short, everybody, they locked up in the beginning of this matchup. So there was a lockup.
Yeah.
Okay?
There was a few.
Not an assault.
It started
There was a
slow.
lockup.
Yeah.
Started slow because obviously you would expect this match to be slow. But here's the catch. And whoever you talk to, everyone's probably got a different story because I've seen plenty of guys online that think differently of this match. But to me, okay, they did just fine as a very basic standard match.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy, just two guys who have to wrestle a match because it depends on the victory.
Yeah.
They have to win this matchup.
They're bad guys. They're not just going to go out there and wrestle. They're bad guy teammates.
They're bad guy teammates, and they kind of have something to fight for here. So not just the pride of the team is on the line here. They fought a little bit, but I think the most important thing to get out of the way here, and I'm not going to lie, I'm going to be very honest about this. This was fucking hilarious. The high school antics going on the outside between Taka, between Taichi, between all the guys. When you get a heel stable that does nothing but bullshit and fuck around and beat people up and just pull dirty tactics, when you get all four guys in one ring, what's going to happen? There's going to be times 11 bullshit going on. So Marty Asami had no hold of this matchup.
Nope.
Taichi was taking cheap shots at Desperado. I pointed out he sort of kicked him very, very slightly in a very dickhead manner. But other than that, I thought it was hilarious just to see the interaction between four full-time heels who do nothing but dirty bullshit and dirty antics, and they went out there and it was hilarious. Yes. I thought it was fucking hilarious.
This is a highly entertaining match.
This was entertaining from the point of entertainment. It was not, this is the best match I've ever seen. It was just the banter and the interaction between four guys who help each other win matches. Now they have to face each other. But it was fun. It was fun, and Kanemaru won.
The count out.
With the count out, that's right. I totally didn't even write down the
I don't even remember what led up to the count out, but I remember El Desperado at one point said "fuck everybody" and chair shot at everybody, even Taka, who was in his corner.
To which Taka got up and said, "Come on, man." Actually, Desperado was the loose explosion in this matchup. The only one that really got out of hand. And at the end of the match, they all gave each other a nice little fist pound. Fist pound.
They all kissed and made up.
They all kissed and made up and just said, "Hey, it's just a prank, bro." Just a fucking prank. But the ending was, and I remember this clearly. I think Desperado's on the outside. Yoshinobu's waiting in the ring, kind of just waiting for it to all blow over. Kind of like, I'll take the count out win. I don't give a shit. Desperado's trying to get in at, I believe, 18 or 19. And then Taichi. No, I'm sorry. Taka pushes Taichi into Desperado as he's getting into the ring on the apron, knocks him off, and that's how Yoshinobu won the match. So basically, Taka used the other guy's manager to knock Desperado off of the fucking thing. So, and that was that, everybody. Yoshinobu won, and it was fun. I thought it was a lot of fun. Shit match, a lot of fun though. Ryusuke Taguchi versus ACH. Both men began this match by flexing their butts to each other to show off who could flex each other's ass better. This is very important. Ryusuke starts kicking him in the glutes. ACH hits 2 Manhattan drops, then laughs about it because, Manhattan drop on his ass. It's hilarious. He follows that up with a nut shot and 3 suicide dives. The old ACH nut shot and 3 suicide dives. No big deal. Taguchi's on the outside until an 18 count. He sells the left elbow, apparently, so he's selling the left elbow after those suicide dives. Apparently, he knocked himself into a chair and decided to sell it. ACH does his best Nakamura impression, tries to ass cannon him in the corner. I don't know why I wrote ass cannon, but I wrote.
You mean butt my A?
Yeah, sure, butt my A. But,
ass shasa.
But Taguchi, as a matter of fact, ACH doing it will probably hurt a lot more. He's got a bigger ass than fucking Taguchi. But Taguchi moves and drop kicks him in the butt. There's a lot of butt stuff going on here. Taguchi starts getting serious and goes out to the left knee aggressively. So this is when the match went from, this is all fun and games. It's hilarious. It's a good time. And then Taguchi said, you know what? Fuck this. I want to win this tournament, dude. Sorry. ACH tries to come back with a double stomp and a drop kick, goes for a suicide dive, but Taguchi cuts him off. ACH stops his momentum with a fireman's carry. Tries to nutshot him again, but Ryusuke traps his hand in his thighs because he's a crafty veteran and he's been hit in the nuts plenty of times before. Hits a springboard hip attack and put on the ankle lock, but ACH quickly gets to the ropes to avoid any damage. They exchange forearm shots. Taguchi tries for a top rope spot, but ACH sees him and stops him with a superplex, takes off the elbow pad, goes for the big lariat, but Ryusuke blocks it with his ass. They trade roll-up pins until Taguchi holds him down for a 3 count. So Ryusuke Taguchi won over ACH here.
And this win officially eliminates Kanemaru, who Taguchi had the tiebreaker over.
So at this point, and you'll see the last 3 matches we got here, it's a domino effect here.
Yeah.
So everyone that would win would eliminate the guy that went before him.
Yep.
So Tiger Mask IV versus Bushi.
Taguchi needing a Tiger Mask win here to
That's right, because Bushi holds a victory over Taguchi.
Yep.
Tiger hits a tombstone very, very early in the match, not wasting any time, then locks him into a chicken wing. So clearly Tiger Mask in this matchup was not fucking around with Bushi. He was a grumpy old man.
Yeah.
He was trying to win this fucking tournament, and he was going out there and he was trying to win this shit. And he wasn't gonna fuck around anymore here because he's almost to the end of his career. He'd like to win this shit.
Yeah.
Bushi ends up on the outside to take a breather, gets back in at a 15 count, then goes right back out. So to hold up Tiger Mask even more to piss him off, he walks around the ring, then grabs Tiger's legs, brings him to the outside, chokes him with his shirt because no one ever thinks to tell this guy to take his fucking shirt off before he starts any match ever. Bushi seeks out. This bothers me a lot, clearly. This is very fucking stupid to me. It's why? Why are you wearing a shirt? Hello, this is wrestling.
Yeah.
Take your shirt off, dude. Seriously. Let alone your own merch. What are you doing? What a geek. Bushi seeks out a chair for later use. Hits Tiger with a neck breaker, then attacks the left knee he began working on the outside. Hits a drop kick and is very impressed with himself after this. Tiger hits a top rope arm drag to lay out Bushi. Then he connects with a Tiger driver but only gets a 2 count. Bushi comes back with a code breaker on the ropes. Bushi tries for a fisherman suplex, but Tiger puts him in headlock in the middle of the ring. Looks like Bushi might be done, but he saves himself with a rope break. Tiger hits a super Tigerplex, then a standard Tiger suplex, but gets cut off when Bushi attacks the knee. Red Shoes bumps. I forgot why he bumped. I totally forgot why he bumped, but he ended up bumping because Bushi got the chair and used it to hit a code breaker with it. But only gets a 2 count out of this. So Tiger Mask really looking strong here still. Looks like Bushi might not actually win this match, but an MX afterwards does the deal and secures a victory for Bushi.
If Tiger Mask would have won this match and then Kushida wins the subsequent match, this would have really fucked up the whole standings because there would have been, I don't know how far the tiebreakers go, but Taguchi would have had a win over Tiger Mask. Tiger Mask would have had a win over Kushida, and Kushida would have had a win over Taguchi. So it really would have
been all convoluted over here.
Yeah.
So
Bushi winning eliminates Volador, and although he needs a Volador win for Kushida to not win this tournament.
So we got Kushida versus Volador, and like you just said, Kushida loses. Bushi wins the tournament, or wins the B block.
Yep.
So Volador Jr. is mathematically out of this.
Just playing spoiler.
Just playing spoiler here. So something that's great about Kushida is that no matter what he's up against, he will stick to his plan. Because in this matchup, he tried to there may have been a bit where Kushida was drawn into lucha style flips in a battle with Volador Jr.
Yeah.
But he stayed the course. He kept going after Volador's arm. So he kept a game plan against Volador Jr., who is obviously a flippy guy. Kushida played to Volador's strengths and is an awesome high flyer and still made the match his own. The Back to the Future scored Kushida a rather sudden win and sent him to the finals where he'll face last year's tournament winner, Will Ospreay. So not much to talk about with this match, mostly because it was just, you could see that these guys are gassed. It was a very slow match, very, very slow. I remember watching this. It was the last one that we were watching the other night, and it was just kind of going on and on and on and on, and Volador was kind of a little slow, but you could see that it was the end of the tournament here because they were both gassed out. Volador Jr. was just trying. They hit all their spots. They hit all their usual shit. It was just not that explosive as you'd want it to be. But obviously Kushida went over.
These guys worked 14 matches in 2.5 weeks.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
So they were visibly gassed here, but Kushida like I just said, matched Volador Jr.'s high-flying shit, but he also got his own thing in and kept working the arm and won with the Back to the Future here. So the stage is set up for Will Ospreay versus Kushida.
Before we do that, though, let's go over the final standing for the B block. This was a little easier to figure out with the tiebreakers because it kind of fell in line where the loser of the first match was the last place and going forward to fifth, and then the winners of the first match going through was fourth and higher. So, in last place at 6 points, the 3-4 record was El Desperado. ACH was also at 6 points and 3-4, but had the tiebreaker over El Desperado. Tiger Mask had the tiebreaker over ACH to finish 6th place at 3-4 with 6 points. And Volador Jr. had the tiebreaker for over everybody, all the losers, with a 3-4 record with 6 points. And then for the guys tied at 8 points with a 4-3 record, Kanemaru finished 4th, Taguchi 3rd, Bushi 2nd, and Kushida,
Number 1.
B block winner.
So that sets up the stage for Tokyo, the Yoyogi second gymnasium, not the first. Can't be in the first gymnasium. It's the second one.
There was probably like a cheerleading competition.
That's
there.
Right. Very important. Yeah. More important than this bullshit tournament. But we didn't see the rest of the show. I probably will see the rest of the show because I don't want to miss anything heading into Dominion, and obviously this is probably a big show because of the finals and something's got to go on.
Yeah, there were no major title matches. I think there was a bunch of tag matches and shit.
Well, the English commentators were there.
Yeah.
And more importantly, the Tokyo Latina was there.
Yes, she was.
And she was there with the muffin ass. So, I think I will do some further research later on. Just for research purposes, of course.
Yes.
No other reason.
Strictly research.
Strictly research, strictly professional. So we got Will Ospreay versus Kushida. After Kushida won the match against Volador Jr., Will Ospreay came out and said, "Hey, I'm going to defeat you and be back-to-back Super Juniors champion." Kushida said, "Let's go. Let's go wild and crazy." We didn't do that, but it felt like it. Well, he did say that in English. Yeah. He tried to speak to him in his language of English, but
that's racist, dude.
That was the big. It's what it is. It's what it is. It's now that set up the stage for this main event. So they talked about beating each other up, and they're gonna go do it here. So here we go. Will Ospreay versus Kushida, the finals of the Best of the Super Juniors 24. The match starts off with both guys feeling each other out, so not too much going on there. They're trying to see what they want to do because they're walking around the ring, slowly pacing themselves. Kushida attacks the left knee of Ospreay, a callback to the strategy that Takahashi used back when him and Ospreay went at it, because Takahashi went after the knees of Ospreay. Because if you
that's the best way to ground a flyer, dude.
You can't do flippy shit without your knees, that's for sure.
And also without your elbow, as Don Callis would have you believe.
That's right.
But we're getting there.
We'll get there. They mat wrestle a bit. Ospreay has a cut on his lip right away, so apparently he couldn't wait to gig his lip 2 minutes into the matchup. Obviously,
I don't think I was about to say.
Obviously, it was not a gig. They mat wrestle again, and Will wins this time, so he gets the edge over Kushida. Ospreay talks a bunch of shit. Kushida responds by knocking his ass to the outside and senton splashing him. Back in the ring, once again, Kushida locks in a figure four, goes to town on the left knee. So focusing on the left knee, not taking his eye off of it. Ospreay comes back with a handspring shin kick, hits a hesitation kick. Seems like Will's back in control at this point. He hits a suplex and goes for a pin, but lives to shoulder up and starts to get cocky. So he went for a superplex, or he went for a suplex, and he went for a pin, but instead of the mat, or instead of Red Shoes counting the third fall, he just kind of lifted up his shoulder. So at this point, Will's getting a little dickish here. And Anthony's not really impressed by any of these antics by Will Ospreay.
No.
He tries for a between the legs super kick on the turn pad, but Kushida drops him with an arm DDT from the top. Ospreay hits a step up NZ to send Kushida to the outside. Then topes over, to which Don Callis says, quote, "How does he do that? With a blown elbow?"
Yeah.
Gee, I don't know.
A match where he didn't grab the ropes at all. I don't think he even hit him with his arm. It was just a fucking...
Let it be known, everybody, you can't do a tope over the top rope without your elbow. Your knees have nothing to do with it, but the elbow's got to be in perfect shape for this to occur. Kushida nails him with a wonderful dragonplex, but only gets a 2 count. Kushida tried to go up top for a high spot, Will stops him twice and drops him on the turn pad. Ospreay does a shooting star on Kushida while he's hanging face down on the top rope, which Anthony called stupid. Unnecessary.
85% of what Will Ospreay does is unnecessary.
Unfucking necessary, as it were.
Yeah.
Then he follows that up with a reverse Rana on the apron and actually tries to take the count out. So willing to take the count out here. Saying, fuck it, I killed him on the ropes. I killed him on the apron. I don't give a shit. Count him out.
Yeah.
I win the match no matter what.
Yep.
Smart man. Not like a lot of guys that think like this. He follows that up with a flipping DDT, but can only get a 2 count. Ospreay tries for the Os Cutter. Kushida sees right through it and springboards with him, then puts on the hoverboard lock into a triangle choke armbar, but can't make him tap. Will hits a cutter after Kushida. Just a cutter. It wasn't an Os Cutter. It was Kushida jumped off from the top rope and they hit
You
the
mean
cutter.
an RKO out of nowhere?
Yes, it was. An Os Cutter from Os Nowhere. Hits his Revolution kick, tries to put him away with the Os Cutter, which was the setup after the Revolution kick, but Kushida hits his own Os Cutter. They exchange some hard shots. Will wins, but gets way too fired up in the process and allows Kushida to punch him square in his neck.
Yeah.
Straight in his neck.
What a fucking loser.
Yes. At this point, I do remember looking and going, well, what a fucking idiot. Like, what are you doing, dude? Like, why are you posing and trying to get the crowd fired? They're already fired up. This crowd was on fire.
He had Kushida on the ropes.
Had him on the ropes and just got punched square in the neck. And everything got deactivated in Will Ospreay's body. Kushida put him in the hoverboard lock for a while, so he's looking to make him tap. And he looked like he might tap, but he holds on to Kushida's tights in a last-ditch effort to not tap. Kushida gets desperate and tries to hit the Back to the Future really quickly, but Ospreay counters it into the Stun Dog Millionaire. Crowd gets really into this match at this point. It's the climax. We could feel the end coming, but we just don't know when. Ospreay seemingly gets pissed that he can't put Kushida away. Kicks him about 8 times in the corner turn pad over there with his head tucked in between his legs, which should have killed Kushida. Should have murdered anybody at this point. Instead, the ace of the junior division fights back, hits a big super Back to the Future from the top rope, then a standard Back to the Future, and that is how Kushida wins this matchup. So a super Back to the Future, and then a regular one, and there you go. Will Ospreay gets put away. Kushida, your best of the Super Juniors 24 champion.
For as much as they shed on Ospreay and all that shit being logical, this was a fun match. This was probably the way it had to go.
This is what I like about New Japan Pro Wrestling. Okay, I've only been watching a lot as of recent.
Yeah,
we've watched in years prior, but not as much as now.
Consistently,
consistently lately. But this is the thing of New Japan, is that there's a tournament, there's a climax. You are going to get a good last match. They almost will. They're guaranteed to give you a really good final match of any sort of big blow off or tournament.
They generally deliver on their payoffs,
and that is why we watch this stuff. But Kushida got the win here. Big celebration at the end. Him and Ospreay sort of hugged it out, and I remember saying, "Boy, they tried to fucking murder each other just now." But hey, man, it's all in the spirit of competition, I suppose. Yep. I just tried to murder you and kill you, and I kicked you 8,000 times in the face. But all's fair in love and war, I suppose. Yeah. They exchanged a little hug. Everyone got in the ring, gave him some support, gave him a hug.
Faces from the
ACH put his hand on his back and immediately realized it's a terrible idea because his fucking hand's all sweaty now.
Yeah.
To which it was very expressed. He was very expressed about this.
Yeah, and then he started rubbing it on Ricochet.
So fun little banter between Ricochet and ACH in the background here. Kushida cut a promo. We don't know what he said, but we know
something about riding the wave.
Something about riding the wave because
everybody started doing the wave.
The crowd did the wave.
Don Callis said it was the most athletic thing he's ever seen Kevin Kelly do.
So we saw an actual initiated wave at the end of an event here. It wasn't just some bullshit after WrestleMania wave.
Yeah. You mean during WrestleMania wave?
No. When does that ever happen during WrestleMania?
Maybe
it's always like the Raw after Mania.
Yeah.
But big blow off, big celebration, and there you go, everybody. So Kushida going on to probably take on Hiromu Takahashi at Dominion, which is next Sunday. And we are stoked about this event. I'm stoked about this
Yes.
event. I can't wait. This is the first time in a long time I've been wanting to see a matchup between two big matches. And it's taken us about 5 months for all these big rematches here.
Yeah, we're basically getting the top of the card from Wrestle Kingdom 11. We're getting Naito and Taka and Tanahashi, and we're getting Omega and Okada.
And this is not a prediction show. Go on, you were going to say something.
And I'm looking forward to the Never Openweight Challenge match, which if I read correctly is a lumberjack death match.
Yes, it is. I read
Minoru
the
Suzuki
card.
and who was it?
Hiroki Goto.
Yeah.
I read that on the card for Dominion, and I went, now, what the fuck is a lumberjack death match? I presume, and I just presume
It's just going to
here,
be chaos and fucking
Chaos
Suzuki-gun.
and Suzuki-gun on the outside, right? Everyone's got hammers and hatchets and machetes.
Yeah.
There's no other way this could be a death match, okay, without machetes and guns. I expect Taichi to go out there with a 12-gauge shotgun in an attempt to murder someone on the other side. This is going to get chippy, and it will get chippy very early.
Dude, chippy is an understatement.
This is going to be a fight and a half.
Yeah.
But so we got Dominion. Can't wait for that because this is a 4-month, 5-month build, however long it's been since Wrestle Kingdom. So this is big time. Tanahashi, I presume, and I started saying this, but this is not a prediction show, but I'm just going to assume that Tanahashi is going to go over at Dominion.
Yeah, I would expect the top two matches to basically be
the reverse.
The flip-flop of the results from Wrestle Kingdom 11.
The reason I say Tanahashi is because the belt got all fucked up by Naito, and I presume it was on purpose. There's no way they would okay this. It's either for a new belt, a redesign, a refurbish, whatever they want to do. They're going to change the belt. I feel like they wouldn't let him destroy it.
And you can't change the belt if you're going to let the guy retain it. So
yeah, exactly. So Tanahashi's going to win back the belt, and he's going to caress it to life or whatever the fuck he wants to do with it. And obviously, Kenny Omega, we presume is going to go over because we've got the G1 final, or the G1 beginning of G1 coming up in Long Beach, California, the U.S. special. And what way to start a U.S. special than with a Canadian that represents the United States, I suppose?
A North American.
A North American guy.
English-speaking.
English-speaking fellow who plays Tekken, and he's a fucking weeb like the rest of us, so we can fully back him in this situation. But we got all that to look forward to. We're excited. Sadly,
if only Daniel Bryan's contract had ended earlier.
Yeah. Yep. Sadly, everybody, tomorrow we've got Extreme Rules.
Yep.
And
can't wait to bring you that hard-hitting coverage.
Our New Japan
from the not so hard-hitting action.
Our New Japan first ever Best of the Super Juniors tournament is finally over, and I would like to say it was a fun ride, but it was a pain in the ass to catch up sometimes.
There were some big matches that made it worth it, but there was a lot.
There was a lot of
bullshit.
Suzuki-gun bullshit. Yeah. But I suppose I should bite my tongue because we've got the G1 tournament coming up, which is probably a lot longer and a lot more hectic.
The big matches were worth it, though. The big matches were worth the bullshit.
It was fun. Taguchi and Kushida was a wonderful match. And this tournament has really shown me that Kushida is fucking amazing. He's really, really good.
No, Kushida.
I knew he was good. I did not personally know he was good.
Yeah.
I've personally know now. Kushida's the real deal here.
Kind of forgot how good he was, but getting to see him live a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah, yeah. We did see when we went to Ring of Honor. We got to see him win the belt, which was awesome. He beat Marty Scurll. Fuck Marty Scurll. Yep. So that was a good time.
And then his run through the tournament, making that big comeback, and there was
a story was told here.
Yeah.
Big and it needed a tournament to do it, but it was a lot of fun, well told. And hats off to everybody in the Super Juniors.
Look for him to take the belt off of Takahashi. I think it's going back to
So we're going for a clean sweep of reverse finishes here for
Yeah.
Dominion. All right, guys. Well, that's it for us. Our first tournament in the books here. We got another one coming up in about a month, so no breaks, no time off here. If anything, we'll just not talk about WWE because I really don't give a shit about that. I'll put that to the back burner rather than talk about WWE anymore. But that's it for us, everybody. And if you are into WWE stuff, we'll be watching Extreme Rules. Record about that. Until then, see you guys around. Take care.
Later.